I'm going to tell you what nervous tics are and what the solution to them is. So what are nervous tics? I've experienced nervous tics since I was a kid. I've had many. And in my life now, I experience some, most noticeably, ones with my eyes. I'm just kind of like moving my eyes around a lot in a weird way. And I notice when I'm meditating as well, I've got this one, I'm just constantly trying to like fix my neck posture. The nervous tics is like a compulsive, repetitive action that feels like an itch that you need to scratch. It's like there's this intense urge and you have to do it to like feel relief. It's like it is literally no different from feeling an itch on your skin and like then feeling that urge to scratch it. And actually this is something that you will come into contact with if you decide to meditate consistently, and if you decide to develop in meditation, to train in meditation. You will have to resist the urge to itch scratches. All right? If you want to, you know, it's definitely helpful. It's definitely what am I trying to say? It's definitely worthwhile to notice that, to feel the itch and to not do anything about it, right? There's this meditation called strong determination sit-in, which is where you just sit and you don't move at all, not an inch. Sometimes, you know, your saliva will build up in your mouth and you've got like a fucking whole gulp of saliva just in your mouth and you can't swallow it, you know, because that would be moving. So this, you know, the way that I kind of think about this, like, I feel like awakening, you know, like the heart of like awakening, like the core of like all spiritual practice, I think it boils down to just like the art of letting go. Just letting go and letting your body and mind just kind of purge all the shit out of your system that you've accumulated over the years. Like, you go about life and you like resist this and that, you resist it and you crave these things, right? Buddhism talks about suffering is caused by craving and aversion, right? We go about life and we crave things so bad, or we push things away so much. And our mind and body like goes into habits of this in a lot of things. So we build up these like resistances that become habitual, you know. And so meditation perhaps could be the art of being equanimous with everything, right? Neither craving nor pushing away anything. Letting everything happen by itself. Kind of like asserting this view of impersonality where, you know, you kind of just take a back seat, you know, you disembed from experience and you let experience just happen on its own. You let reality just happen and you're not asserting any self, any self that is doing anything. You take that out of experience. You let reality happen by itself. Anyway, what am I trying to say here? Well, the nervous tics, I think, is a spiritual issue. Most people who are not into spirituality or don't have this conceptual framework of awakening, yet have nervous tics or OCD or whatever, probably don't really think about it as a spiritual problem. But what this is, I think, nervous tics is the ego's inability to let go of the illusion of control. It's the ego's way of maintaining control. This is what I notice. I've had times in meditation where I've been, I'm just entering into a meditative absorption state, and a part of me will self-sabotage and move my body or open my eyes or whatever, because to enter into this absorption state means to let go of control and to enter into the unknown. I don't know what it's going to be like, and the thing is, it's like entering into some absorption state is going to be very blissful. It's very pleasant. It's really good. It's very beneficial for the body and mind to enter into this. But a part of my mind is like, if I enter into this, I have to let go of control. It's like, to enter into it, it's like, you can't do it. You have to let go and just, because you're kind of stopping the mind's momentum of doing anything at all. You're like dropping the engagement with the mind and just like resting and letting the body and mind move into relaxation itself. But that means to let go of control. That means to let go of this asserted worldview you have about yourself and what reality is. Because you go about life and you have this perception, this habitual perception of, this is who I am, this is what the world is, but actually it's like, that's all mind made. It's all made up by the mind. How you perceive reality, how you experience reality, how what you perceive things to be, like things like this, I am this way, reality is this way, whatever. It's fabrications of the mind. It's projections of the mind. Reality is like this dream. It's like, it's not made of any like one thing. It's not one thing. And the mind is so intertwined with, quote unquote reality, that reality is really like a very fluid flux thing. It's not really one thing, but we hold on to it and think that, it is one thing. It's like, you can experience reality in so many different ways. So which way is it, how actually is it, And so when it's like, you have a nervous tic is like the ego's way of maintaining control, maintaining this worldview in fear of letting go of it. Because what is the ego? The ego is nothing else other than your worldview and your self-view. And so it's like, the body is always wanting to fidget, Have you noticed this? It's like the ego avoids stillness, because in stillness, it dies. I hope this is making sense. So this is like really what I feel like I need to practice in life right now. It's like, I notice these nervous tics are just being more exacerbated, more and more. And it's because, I've cut out a lot of distractions. I've cut out a lot of shit that was not serving me. And I've done a lot of practical shit in my life that has gotten me to the point where I feel, it's time for a bit of rest, a time for a bit of just, there's not really much desire to do much right now. So this is a time where it's like, I can just rest. But I notice, when I try and rest, when I become still, in my body, there's all this energy that wants to, you know what I mean? when I resist the urge to, move my eyes or whatever, or adjust my neck posture, I'll notice there's an anxiety in like my chest and this kind of area. It amplifies a lot. And it's like, so it's like there's, it's like layers of resistance. It's like at the top layer is like these eye movements and like the, fixing neck posture. And then it's like, I'm doing that because it's a distraction. In a sense, it's like an addiction because I'm avoiding the deeper pain, which is like this anxiety here. So it's like when I can let go of these nervous tics, resist the urges of it, it's like all this anxiety builds, And so in a sense, like these nervous tics that I have is like a protective mechanism because, it's a solution to this pain, this other anxiety beneath the nervous tics. Just like if you were an alcoholic, in a sense that being drinking so much alcohol is not the problem, it's a solution to a deeper problem. So it's the same thing with this. And what I notice that when I am in stillness and I'm not, when I'm disengaging from the mind and body movements, then reality starts to morph, I start to see reality in a different way. Reality becomes very dreamlike. And I don't know what's real, you know what I mean? I don't know, because like we go about life with this kind of asserted view that, I've got to do something, whatever it is for you, it's like, here's my life, and we just have this like intertwined fabrications of so much of like, time and space and self and other, self and world. And this sense of time, like, oh, I can't waste my time, or I can't waste my potential, or it's like, I've got to do this in order to be this, or I've got to get that in order to do that, and blah, 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 blah. And, we have this whole sense of a self and a world, and what's right and wrong, and good and bad, and important and not important. You see, that's a big one. We have this sense of what's important and what's not important, what's significant and what isn't, and what is a waste of time and what is not a waste of time. When you sit in stillness and you disengage from the mind, then all that gets thrown out the window, which is yourself as well. And again, the self wants to survive, the ego wants to survive. I hope this is making sense, because this is the framework of awakening, right? Yeah. Because really, there's nothing like more important than anything else, and really, there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to become. There's nothing that you need to get done. Oh, I need to get it done. So, you might have this like this sense of like, oh, I can't just sit here in stillness and not be productive. I need to do something, even if it's like meditation. You see, because it's like, oh, I'm going to meditate because it's a productive thing to do. It's something that's going to help me in life. You're still like using meditation for the self. You see what I mean? It's like, I'm going to meditate because it's good for me, and it's good for my life. But can you sit in stillness, not call it meditation, and not have an ulterior motive or agenda? Because when you do that, then the ego goes, oh my God, no, I need to do something. I need to at least, if I'm going to sit here and do nothing, I need to at least call it meditation and do some kind of technique, because that will be productive. So this is where I'm at in my life right now. I think it's like I'm really trying to like let go, feel safe in my body, not need to do anything in order to be enough, in order to be, you know what I mean? Like I'm safe, dude. Like I got a roof over my head, money in the bank, food in my belly. Right? There's not a war going outside where I am. There's safety all around. What am I afraid of? I've accumulated so much, you know, a fear response to threats, you know, social threats over my entire life. You know, the nervous system is like in a state of survival, in a state of fight or flight. And I really need to let it be known to my body that there's no threat going on. There's no actual fucking threat going on. You know? I can take care of myself now. I'm not like there's nothing that's gonna really hurt me, man, you know? I think all this fear that we feel, you know, we get into these states of survival, this state of fight or flight. Right? Most people live their lives in this state. And I think it's a fear of being disconnected from other people. Right? It's a fear of abandonment, a fear of, you know, being pushed out of the tribe. And ultimately, that fear stems from the fear of the annihilation of the self. Because if you are pushed out of the tribe, if you're disconnected from people, and you're just alone with yourself, then your sense of self will become unraveled. Because what is your sense of self? You know, your sense of self is intertwined with other people's selves. It's so dependent on other people. Like you couldn't know who you are as a social self, as a separate self. You couldn't know that without other people. That self that you think you are depends on other people. It depends on other people mirroring it back to you. And, you know, this sense of self that you have is relational. See, that there's no sense of self without relation. You know, everything is relational. And so it's really the fear of the annihilation of the ego. That's what all fear comes down to. All fear comes down to the fear of the death of who you think you are. And again, that's part of the framework of awakening. Awakening is all about this. So yeah, I think, if you want to pursue this path of awakening, what it comes down to is to really be aware of how craving something and pushing something away, resisting something, how that causes suffering, and to let go, to disembed from that craving and that aversion. Right? The body's still going to do it, because it's habitual. But the more and more you notice how much suffering it causes, the more you'll realize, like, okay, I've got to let this go. Stop the craving, stop the aversion. But again, it might still happen because it's so habitual, but you're stopping the momentum of it. And in the process of all this, give yourself love. That goes a long way as well. So I think that's all I've got to say for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you got some value from it. Please like, subscribe, it helps me out a lot. And if you want to talk more about this kind of stuff, come join up on the Truth Playground. That's our online community, top link in the description. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.